All right, we're here with Tim Grove. Women's basketball season gets underway, and maybe before we even get into this season, we'll kind of go over some of the rule changes that our fans might not know about, or maybe just not fully understand at the moment. You guys have had one scrimmage; you got to play under those new rules. So let's kind of run through some of those for everybody.
I think the major ones that people will notice right away. Certainly, we've gone to the 4 quarters now instead of the 2 halves. So that'll be a drastic change. People walk into the gym and say, why is there 10 minutes on the clock to start the game? We've gone to 4 10-minute quarters. And the other major difference along with that is there's no one-on-one bonus now. The 5th foul of every quarter results in 2 shots for the opposing team. So that's going to be a big change too. And then at the end of each quarter, those are wiped away. So each quarter starts fresh with the team fouls, and on the 5th one, team shot, the team will shoot 2. And the only exception for that is if it goes overtime, the team fouls in the 4th quarter do carry over to overtime. So that's the only thing, and I think that's probably the 2 major things that fans will notice right away.
And then kind of now looking forward to this year, you guys have had, near month to practice here and stuff like that before your first game actually tips off on Saturday. What have you seen during practice so far?
Well, a lot of different things, some real positive things and some things we certainly need to improve on, which you would expect at this time of the season, certainly. And but what I like is the camaraderie, which I think has been, I think has been a real positive to teams that we've had here in my time here. I've been very, very fortunate. We've had groups that have gotten along very well, and I think that matters. I really think that carries over to how the team plays and how successful the team is. So that's, I think, one of the key things we look for is just how tight is the group and are they pulling for one another and those types of things. I think that's real positive. But we're also young. This is a group that we've got a lot of new people. Thankfully, we have some real good leaders that are upperclassmen as well, our 3 seniors and some juniors there that will do a great job leading us as well. But we will rely on a lot of first-year people this year as a group, more so than we have had to do in the past.
Most people that follow the program know you guys' success within the UMAC and obviously making the NCAA tournament last year. You guys did lose a couple big people off last year's team, but you do have some returns that you talked about, that leadership and some young talent that showed themselves that they might be able to play at this level when they faced the Southwest a couple days ago. So what for, with all that turnover, more... I'm sure the goals kind of stay the same for you. You want to win that conference championship, get back to the NCAA tournament. So what is it going to take to get that done?
Yeah, those are our goals. It's a mainstay for us here in our program. We want to be at or near the top of the conference race each and every year. Thankfully, we've been able to do that recently, and those goals won't change. We still want to be in the mix, and our goal is going to be a conference championship regular season and put us in position to hopefully be as successful as we can in the postseason and get that automatic bid that every team is looking for. All 9 teams right now are thinking the same thing. They want to be conference champions. They want to make the national tournament. So that's going to be big. And in order to do that, it's kind of the same old thing. We're going to have our players playing well and doing all the little things necessary to be successful. And not only our leaders, but we are going to have to rely, as I mentioned before, on our first-year players as well. So it's going to be a combination of those things. We lost 4 awfully good players off last year's team that were not only starters but contributors. All 4 of them were crucial to our team's success in one way or another. And so we're going to be a different team, certainly. But the other things remain the same. We're going to have to take care of the basketball. We're going to have to take good shots. We're going to have to be a good rebounding team. And if we do those things, I think we can be successful.
So then taking it now towards this Saturday, what are you going to look for from this game, and maybe even expand it a little bit to what you're going to look for in what we might so want to call the non-conference preseason schedule until you get into the games that are going to be the big ones for you guys?
Yeah. I think early in the season, you're much more concerned about your team than you are the opposition. We know Concordia Saturday night is going to be a fantastic basketball team. We know that. We understand that. But at this stage of the season, we're much more concerned about ourselves. How are we playing? How do we approach each possession on offense and each possession on defense? Are we doing the little things in the game that we've tried to stress in practice? So those are the things early on that we look for. Once we get into conference play, now some of that focus shifts a little bit more to the opponent. We want to be a little bit better prepared for the opponent specifically, and some of the things that they do and some of the personnel that they've got. But early in the season here, it's much more concerned about us and what we're doing, and is the team grasping the things that we are trying to get across to them in these early season practices.
And obviously, you're going to have a great look at them this weekend and see them in kind of the first official act to the whole season that is a play. What are you going to look for out of them in the next week after this first game when you guys get back to practice and kind of just instill in them?
I think that comes down to kind of the cycle of the season. You play, you look at what you need to correct, you try to correct those things in practice, and then you see if there's improvement in those in the competition. So it's all those things. We're doing the same thing here with, you mentioned our Southwest game the other night. We're going to have a chance to watch film, and we're going to look at the mistakes we make. And now what our hope is that we take care of those mistakes, fix them in practice, and then when it comes around to our next competition, we're not making those same mistakes again. So I think that's the key, particularly early season, but not only early season, throughout the season as well. I mean, you never play a perfect game. There's always things that can be improved upon. So from a coaching standpoint, that's what you look at. What mistakes were made, how can we correct them on the practice floor, and then do we see that carry over in the next opportunity that we have to compete. And so that's going to be the cycle here, certainly early in the season, and that'll continue throughout the regular season, conference season as well.
You guys still have a while before your first home game here. I think it's the 30th. Yeah. So for my math, about 19 days or so. So do you see that as a positive or a negative, or just kind of it is what it is and we're just going to go play basketball?
Yeah, it is what it is. I don't look at that necessarily about, gosh, we have to play our first 3 games or 4 games, whatever it is, on the road. We don't get to play at home until the end of November. Schedule is what it is. We're going to play it kind of like the conference schedule. I don't set the conference schedule. We go and play where and when we're told to play. So that doesn't change. The home opener is always special, because I think people kind of look forward to seeing what are you going to have this year? What's the team going to look like? And so we'll certainly look forward to that on November 30th, I think it is. But we've got some work to do before then, and we'll just take it, the old cliche, we'll take it one game at a time and approach it that way, and just do the best we can as we move forward.
Sounds good, and good luck this weekend.
All right, thank you.